Some context if you haven't seen the previous video. My name is Dash, and I started working on a rhythm game RPG called Disharmony 7 years ago, and despite promoting the game on social media for over a year, it gained practically no traction whatsoever, generating less than 300 wishlists on Steam, whose algorithm tends to bury games less than 10,000 of said wishlists. I recently posted a video where I basically just begged people to wishlist the game, but it somehow managed to get like 2,500 views in about 2 days. I was hesitant to even make the video in the first place because I was really worried it would just annoy people, but instead it managed to completely blow up and I received more support than ever from completely random strangers on the internet. It was honestly a little bit overwhelming. I got so many comments that I couldn't even keep up. I would reply to like 5 comments, and I'd reload the page and I'd have another 5 ready, to be replied to. I know I don't have to reply to every single comment, but I felt inclined to do so. I mean, if you've seen the previous video, you're probably already aware of how thankful I am, because as I just alluded to, I replied to and gave a heart to nearly every single comment. There were maybe a half a dozen or so that were some kind of exception, but yeah. But even so, I just wanted to take this opportunity to once again give a massive, massive thank you to everyone who supported me in the previous one, and anyone who's watching now, really. The game's wishlist count has gone from 257 to 619. It's obviously still a far cry from Steam's magical 10k for it to start recommending things, but like, I can't exactly complain. It's an increase of nearly 250% in a couple days. Like, that is insane. I expected to get maybe like 3, 4, 5 wishlists from that video if I was lucky, and seeing the overwhelming support has honestly been somewhat surreal. I never expected to be on the receiving end of so much attention from anywhere, really. Like, this is, like I said, just surreal. Well, it's kind of a cheesy line to say nowadays. I just want to mention that I really appreciate the entire game dev community as a whole, the indie game dev community specifically. Never have I been part of a community where just hundreds, if not thousands of people would just try to help some random guy out with this game, There were so many comments, like at least half a dozen of people just saying, oh, I'm commenting to boost the video up the algorithm. It's like, that's crazy. I've never had anything like that before. Not only did the actual game dev channel, Bootcat Studios, surpass 100 subscribers, this channel that I made to post dumb videos for my friends on Discord years ago, this one has also surpassed 100. This one is more than the game dev channel now. Like, it's just so strange seeing how much people care out of nowhere. Just random people care about my project, and it's like, it's incredible. It is incredible. So, actually, at a loss for words, it's incredible. So, for the 1000th time, thank you so very much. To end the video off, I'd like to clarify a few things I forgot to mention in the last video, as well as answer a couple of the most frequently asked questions in the last video's comment section. First of all, just to manage expectations a bit, the game is going to be pretty short. Don't expect like a 20 to 30 hour RPG here. It's a pretty short game with multiple endings, some achievements, and a bunch of Easter eggs. There's content to be found for sure, but don't expect like a full-length Final Fantasy game, Second of all, I felt kind of bad for not mentioning any of the people who've actually helped turn the game into a real thing. So first of all, I want to thank my friend David Casper, an editor, for helping with playtesting, feedback, and the management of my various social media accounts. I want to thank my sister Tay for proofreading the game script, giving me feedback, and writing some additional dialogue for the game, and of course helping me stay motivated for 7 years. And of course, how could I forget my brother-in-law Chris, who has written about half the game's music. I felt really bad for not mentioning any of them in a video that would turn out to be my most successful one ever, so there you go. Thank you guys. A common question I got in the previous video's comment section was if the game's going to have rebindable keys, and with the way it's looking now, the answer is probably going to be a no. I'm not outright saying it won't happen, but it's not a priority at the moment. The way the rhythm game segments are controlled right now, with the Z, X, C, and V are the 1, 2, 3, and 4 keys. If you're using a controller, you can use the left shoulder button, the right D-pad, the left face button, and the right shoulder button. Alternatively, you can use the shoulder buttons and the triggers. I can totally see how some people would prefer other key bindings though, so if it becomes a heavily requested feature, I might add it post-launch. And finally, I want to give an update on something I said in the last video. The game right now has about 257 wishlists on Steam, give or take a couple maybe, something's changed in the past 24 hours and hasn't updated yet, and if everything goes as planned, the game's going to be released in about a month. Well, it was actually decided upon yesterday that the game is going to be delayed by a few more weeks. This is done to allow for more playtesting and to prevent me from essentially having to work 3 jobs in order to launch the game in December. The exact date will be revealed very soon. This is not the first time the game's been delayed, but I can promise it will be the last. Stay tuned for more details, and with that, thank you for watching, goodbye, and thank you for your continued support.